If God got stuck in a reality or what he believes to be reality because it seems like reality, and he has no instrument to verify whether he's in a reality or not, what does he do? He's stuck in what seems to be reality, but it's not reality. It's just a projection of his subconscious mind. And he doesn't even know how his subconscious mind is actually creating what seems to be reality. And he doesn't even know that his subconscious mind is actually creating what seems to be reality. But he knows that that is actually possible. How does he know that that is possible? Because every time when he goes to sleep, he finds himself in a world that seems real and that he believes is real because it seems real, and he has no instrument that he can use to verify whether the world that is real or not. So he assumes that it's real. I mean, if he tells himself that it's not real and tell the people that he interacts with that it's not real, they treat him like he's crazy. He does interact with his own projections in his dreams and tell them that, hey, it's just a dream, and they tell him that he's crazy. Until he wakes up and realizes that, oh shit, it was really a dream. I was right all along, but I had no instrument to verify whether I was dreaming or not. How does he set himself free? Because he has no instrument that he can use to verify whether he's dreaming or not. So he's having an experience, but he doesn't know if it's real. And he has no instrument that he can use to verify whether it's real or not. What does he do? How does he set himself free? Especially if things are bad in the reality that is actually experiencing. Things are really bad. Everything seems to be upside down. How does he set himself free? He knows that it's possible that everything is just a creation of his subconscious mind, but he doesn't know how his subconscious mind might be creating everything, and he doesn't know how to verify whether his subconscious mind is creating everything. What does he do, in your opinion? He can see that nothing makes sense. It seems like the longer he stays in that reality, the more things seem to make less sense. Like things become more and more confusing. The more he asks questions, the more confused he becomes. The longer he stays in what he believes to be reality, because, well, it seems like reality, the more empty he feels, because it seems meaningless. Like he starts to ask himself the deepest questions. What is it all about? Why am I having this experience? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? Is there something that I will gain in the end? Was all of this for a purpose, or was it just a mistake? what is actually going on? So the more you ask himself these questions, the more empty everything seems. Right? The more you ask himself these questions, the more empty everything feels. So, what does he do? Does he believe that he's experiencing the real reality? Like, okay, you know what? Everything seems real, so I'm just going to believe it's real. Even though I know that it's possible that it might not be real, but I'll just believe it's real. Or does he take a leap of faith and say, hey, look, I already know without a doubt that my subconscious mind is actually capable of creating a world that I experience as if it's real, where I have no doubt that it's actually real, because, well, it seems real. In fact, there is no difference between this world and the world that my subconscious mind is able to create. I mean, when I'm dreaming, I do have my hands, I do have my eyes. It seems like I see with my eyes. If I close my eyes, I don't see anything. I speak with my mouth. If I don't open my mouth, I can't say anything. I breathe with my nose, like you know what I mean? If I close my ears, I don't hear anything. I have a brain. And it seems like everyone that I interact with has a brain. If someone got involved in an accident and their skull got cracked, what will be inside their skull is their brain. Why will their brain be there if that's just my projection? If they try to scan my brain will be there and it will actually be functioning. Why? Why would it be there? So there's no difference between what my subconscious mind creates when I'm sleeping and what I'm actually experiencing now. This seems more persistent than what I experience when I'm sleeping, but the truth is that the experience itself is the same. I have desires in my dreams. I have things that I'm trying to accomplish in my dreams. I have problems in my dreams. It's not like everything goes well just because my dreams are a creation of my subconscious mind. No, I have problems in my dreams. I can have a dream where I'm being chased by monsters. In fact, I have more problems in my dreams than I do in this reality, because I've had really scary dreams. If I've seen the things that I've seen in my sleeping dreams, in this real, I don't know, I'll probably not be here anymore, because there's no way that I'll be able to survive the things that I've survived in my dreams. I mean, I've had dreams where I was being chased by really big monsters that I wouldn't be able to outrun in this realm. I've had dreams where people were pointing a pew pew and they were ready to shoot me, and in this reality that has never happened. So what happens in my dreams is much more messed up than what happens here. So I can't say that my subconscious mind will only create great experiences for me, because in my dreams my subconscious mind does create messed up experiences. People do ask me this question: if God was creating this reality, why would he suffer? And my answer is, well, in your dreams you do suffer, and your dreams are your creation. I mean, isn't it logical to think that your dreams are your own creation? You just don't know that you're dreaming, and that's why you suffer. And that might be the actual problem, is that when you're dreaming, you don't know that you're dreaming. You think that it is real, and you thinking that it's real is actually what's making you suffer, because you're believing that something that isn't real is real. The same way that if you are watching Lion King with your dog, it starts barking because it thinks that what it's saying is real. I've watched many videos of people watching Lion King with their dog, and that dog will get emotional, because dogs are emotional creatures, very intelligent dogs, because some breeds are like super intelligent. So they'll be emotional because they'll understand what is actually going on, especially when they watch that scene where Mufasa gets unalived. They believe it's real. I don't think, hey, I'm just watching TV and this is just animations. No, they think it's real. So they suffer because they think it's real. There's a reason why we like to lucid dream. Every human being wants to lucid dream, right? You want to know that you're dreaming when you're dreaming. Why? Isn't it because you suffer less? Because you'd be like, oh, it's just a dream. It's not real. I don't care. I can do whatever. I can be free because no one is judging me. It's my dream. I can do whatever. I can do whatever I want. No one is going to judge me, even if it appears as if someone is judging me, but no one is judging me because everyone here is me. You see, so who's actually judging me? Maybe I'm judging myself if I think other people are judging me. But yeah, you know that you're dreaming, so you're cool. You don't suffer. I haven't had a person telling me that they've suffered in their lucid dreams. But I've had many people say that they've suffered in their dreams because they believe that their dreams were real. You see? So not knowing that an experience isn't real, that it isn't real, not knowing that it isn't real can lead to a lot of suffering. Knowing that it isn't real doesn't actually reduce the amount of pleasure that can be experienced. If you realize that you could have a lucid dream where things are going very well, you knowing that it isn't real doesn't make the experience less enjoyable. In fact, you find yourself enjoying yourself more because you know that it isn't real, so there are no consequences, because you know that nothing is actually happening. So what if the real problem is that this world isn't real and God doesn't know that this world isn't real? He believes that it's real and he has no way of verifying that it isn't. So he has to believe that it's real because it seems real. So he's scared. It's like, damn, I'm in a hell realm. Because, well, it is a hell realm. People can have nightmares, of course. So God is having a nightmare, but he thinks it's real because it seems real. But what if it isn't? How does he get to realize that it isn't? What does he do? How does he wake up? Or how does he start to be lucid in this reality? Sure. How does God realize that he is God if there is no one to tell him that he is God? He doesn't have a father, he doesn't have a mother, he doesn't have a creator. How does he realize that he's God? Especially if he creates reality and doesn't even know how he's creating it or that he's creating it. He's creating reality from pure imagination. So he's actually imagining everything into existence, but he doesn't know that he's doing that. He thinks that something else is doing that because he doesn't know that he's the one who's actually doing that. He's gonna start thinking that he must have a creator. And if he finds himself suffering a lot, he's gonna want help. Because he's in this place where it appears as if he's not alone. There's other sentient beings, and some of these sentient beings do not like him. Some of these sentient beings want to unalive him. Some of these sentient beings don't care about him. How does he realize that everything is his creation? Everything is him. Everything exists because he exists. If he stopped existing, nothing will exist. How does he realize that? Because if he's stuck in a world that he created on a subconscious level, and that seems real, and he has no instrument to use to verify that, you know, the experience isn't real, he could suffer forever. Because no one is there to tell him that, hey, you're just dreaming. So he could actually suffer forever. So it's actually important that he realizes that what he's experiencing isn't real. The world that he's experiencing isn't real. Even if there isn't anyone to tell him that. Like, the only way that he would set himself free will be by realizing that the world that he's experiencing isn't real. Because his subconscious mind always creates challenges for him. For whatever reason, you know, it's always creating challenges for him. But he's bored. He's bored that he has to keep on facing challenges. He looked at these challenges and be like, it's unfair that he has to be facing these challenges. Poverty. He doesn't understand why he was born in a poor family and why he has to fly in order to make it. He doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand why he doesn't have any special talents that can give him advantages. He doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand why His parents had to die while he was still young. He doesn't understand why he has cancer. He doesn't understand why he's crippled. Doesn't understand why he has mental health issues. He doesn't understand why he can't find love. He doesn't understand why he can't get a job. He can't understand why he's bored. He's stuck and doesn't know what the solution is. Maybe the only solution is him waking up. While he's still here. For him to actually lucid dream. Because if this dream ended and he found himself in another dream, he will believe that it's real. So he would need to realize that this is not real while he's still in it, so that from now on, no matter where he finds himself, he will know that it's not real because he's God. He has enough time to actually wake up while he's still here. Unlike when he's dreaming, when he's in his sleeping dreams, because he doesn't have time. You know, his dreams are short. They're like vines. They will make a lot of sense. Shouldn't he focus on waking up? Shouldn't he focus on realizing what he actually is? So that he has a chance of actually realizing that he was God all along. He's the Alpha, he's the Omega. He just forgot that he's God, and because of that, he's suffering. Because of that, he found himself in a hell that he doesn't know how to escape, because he doesn't know that he created it. Because he doesn't know how he creates reality. Maybe he didn't want to know how he creates reality. Maybe he thought that would be fun. But it got to a point where it was no longer fun. It got to a point where it was boring. It got to a point where it was scary. It got to a point where he was just suffering. His subconscious mind will also try to give him clues, just in case the experience is a bit too much for him. His subconscious will actually try to give him clues for him to realize that he is God. He is the dreamer of reality. Maybe there will be movies that he will watch that will remind him of what he is. He'll watch these movies and be like, yeah, they're just movies. But sometimes he's going to be like, man, what if they're not just movies? What if there's some truth? You watch movies like Inception and be like, huh? Watch movies like The Matrix. Movies like Vanilla Sky. Movies like Shutter Island. Like, watch videos on YouTube. Ramahashi. Benedictine. Muji. Oh, no, Muji doesn't think this. Oh, he does think this is a dream. I remember there's this song. I like this song so much. It's by Omkara. I think Omkara is one of his students. It's called Remember. Just listen to that song. Like, very, very good song. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. You know, this life is just a dream. It'll be over in the blink of an eye. Remember what you owe. Whose life is this? His subconscious would have to give him clues. Why? Because if it doesn't give him clues, he'll be stuck forever. He'll be stuck in a dream forever because, well, no one is going to save him. He only has himself. No one else. Because, well, he's the only one in existence. So there's no one to save him. If he creates a hell for himself, he might end up being stuck in that hell forever. Maybe not forever. Maybe pain does help him wake up. Maybe that's also how he wakes up. Like when he's tired, he's made himself feel pain so that he will wake up. When he's bored. Maybe God, realizing that he's God, is the only way to get rid of suffering. Maybe it is the only way to break out of the hell realm. It's God realizing that he's God. And he was God all along. If he can never have an instrument that he can use to verify that he is God, maybe he just has to take a leap of faith. Because if he thinks deeply about everything, if he questioned everything, if he thinks as rationally as possible, it actually makes sense for him to think that he's God. Like, that's what makes the most sense. I mean, he knows he can create a world where he's the only one, but then believes that he's not the only one in that world. He believes that he didn't create it. Like, that's a clue, isn't it? That's a clue that he's God. I mean, that's really weird. Like, the fact that you dream is super, super, super weird. I mean, you've been dreaming since you were born, right? So you don't think that it's weird. But everything is weird. It's just that some of these things you're too used to them. If you've never dreamt before and you dream for the first time today, you'd think that that's weird. You'd want to talk to everyone about your experience. Because that's weird. It's weird that you dream and you don't know that you're dreaming. So that's a clue. You know? He already knows that he can create a world where anything can happen that he doesn't know that he created. Where he seems to have a brain, and where it seems like he's alive because he has a brain. But that's just an illusion. He'll think that consciousness is generated by the brain, but that's just an illusion. I mean, isn't that what you think when you're in a dream? I mean, it feels that way, right? When you're dreaming, it literally feels like your brain, or awareness is in your brain. It feels that way. You feel like you have a brain, but you don't even have a brain in your dream. It feels like you have hands, but you don't even have hands. It feels like you have eyes, but you don't even have eyes. You are imagining that you have hands, you have a brain, you have eyes. You are imagining that everything is created by something else. And you are aware of what is happening because you have a brain. And if you died, the world that you are in will continue to exist. Like it seems that way. But that should be a clue. You already know that is possible. Is it so illogical to think that the same thing that happens when you're dreaming is the same thing that is happening now? Is it illogical? Are you crazy if you're going to think that using the logic that I gave you? Do you deserve to be in a psychiatrist's hospital because you think that? Oh, that really does make sense. And it makes so much sense that it actually explains everything. It explains why you're suffering. It explains why there's something instead of nothing. It explains why this is weird, because we're having a really, really weird experience. It explains why consciousness exists. Can even explain that consciousness itself is actually fundamental, that there's nothing that can physically exist. Consciousness is just capable of creating dreams that seem so real that it can make itself believe that everything that it's seeing exists physically. Because really, if we were in a physical universe, there would have needed to be something that came into this physical universe first. Like there must have been emptiness in the beginning, and then something came, like some rocks came from wherever. Where would they even come from? And they form planets, and you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense. Because if they came from somewhere, then we'll also need to figure out where, how they started to exist in that place. But what if consciousness is fundamental? Because we already know that consciousness is very much capable of creating a world that seems physical, but that it isn't physical. So something can come out of nothing. It's already capable of deceiving itself. It's so easy for consciousness to deceive itself. And it does that so well that it's able to deceive itself every night. Like when you're dreaming every night, you think it's real. It's so good at that. Doesn't that explain reality? Does it sound so crazy to think that you're God? There is no Jehovah, there is no Allah, there is no Enlil, there is no Enki. You made everything up. You just don't know that you made everything up. Your mind is very good at deceiving itself, bullshitting itself. What if realizing that this isn't real, that's the key to your freedom? Like that's the only way that you can be free. Like there's no other way that you can be free other than realizing that this isn't real. Because if you don't realize that this is real, and consciousness create another realm for you, you still won't realize that it isn't real, right? If you don't realize that this isn't real, and consciousness create another realm for you, you think, hey, that's real. And you find yourself dealing with the same challenges that you've always been dealing with, but in a different realm. Thinking that it's all real while nothing is real, while you are actually the only one in that realm. Maybe you need to take your power back. Maybe you need to take full responsibility for reality. Maybe you have to walk like you own the place. Maybe you need to live your life like you own this place. Maybe you have to stop living in fear. Maybe you gotta have real courage. Because most of the things that you're afraid of, you shouldn't be afraid of them. Like, there are no real consequences. Maybe God needs to realize that it was all a dream. It was never real. There is no history. There is no past. There is no future. There's only now. And your subconscious mind is imagining the past. It's imagining the future. It's also imagining now. But it doesn't realize that. Evolution didn't happen. We don't come from monkeys. The Anunnakis never came to Earth. Jesus never came to Earth. It's imaginary. There's nothing that exists unless you see it. And it doesn't really exist, but you think it does. So it does make sense to say that it exists, but nothing else exists except what you're seeing right now. Meaning there are no other universes. There are no other planets. Meaning that if you stop watching this video, there is no Benedictine. Benedictine only exists when you are watching this video, or if you ever get to meet him one day, he will exist when you meet him. He'll exist physically when you meet him. So now you are imagining that Benedictine exists, he lives in South Africa, and you are watching him on your phone, on your laptop, on your TV. What if that is the truth? He doesn't exist, you are imagining him. What if that person that mistreated you, that person that you cannot forgive, what if that person was just your subconscious, it was just your projection? Your subconscious mind created a challenge for you that you believed was real, and you dealt with the challenge the way that you dealt with it, believing that it was real. And it came in the form of a person, that person that you cannot forgive. But really, it was just your subconscious mind creating challenges for you because, well, that's what it does, for whatever reason. But it's not real. Like, you not being able to forgive that person will be like if you watch Game of Thrones and you hated You know, that guy that betrays everyone. Like, he's the most hated guy. Like, you would hate him in real life. I remember I've seen some posts on Facebook, some people saying that if they saw that nigga in real life, like, they would hate him. And he played his role so damn well that people just felt like that's how he is in real life. He's always betraying people. But he was just acting. And you enjoy Game of Thrones. Maybe because you knew it wasn't real. Would you have enjoyed it as much if you felt like it was real? There were dragons that were unaliving people. People were unaliving people for, like, it. You probably would suffer watching it, because there are a lot of horrible things that happen. But none of those things are real. So you enjoy. You believe that the story is gonna make sense, even though it didn't really make sense. Like, the ending was whack. Let's just hope God is able to come up with a good ending in this reality, this weird story, this nightmare, this hell that it has created. Because Game of Thrones sucked in the end. Like, it had a good start, and it kept on getting better, and everyone expected the last season to be insane, but it wasn't. It was whack on so many levels that it actually made the show work. Like, it actually made the show work. So maybe consciousness is trying to figure out, like, how the ending is going to be. I mean, this year is weird, isn't it? Like, this is one of the weirdest years in history. Celebrities are getting exposed. People seem to be entertained by that. Right? People seem to be entertained by that. Too many synchronicities. Right. Too many synchronicities. Yeah, then that's not supposed to happen. There's no way I can think of a person and they just call me and I have not spoken to them in like 2 years. What the heck is going on? I don't even think about that person. Or you talk about someone and they call you and they never called you. They didn't even have your number. You're like, damn, what did you even get to my number? I was just talking about you, and it's not like I talk about you and you call me. How is that even possible? What kind of synchronicity is that? Things are becoming more and more weird. People are talking about aliens now. So maybe the ending will be interesting. I used to say that this sucks because nothing new happens. You know, you just wake up in the morning, the sun goes up, you experience the same BS that you've experienced yesterday, and then the sun goes down. That's it. How can it not get boring? If things are the same every day. It's like having the same dream over and over again. Have you ever watched like a movie where someone is like stuck in it like a time loop? Like they are repeating the same day over and over again, and they get frustrated. Like, dang, why am I repeating the same day over and over? Like, this is frustrating now. It's not making sense. Like, I don't understand. It will be interesting if I get to have new experiences. If something happens that I wasn't expecting. If I get to interact with new people. So yeah, if aliens appeared, that would be interesting. It would be like, dang, maybe the story is about to get interesting. Why are they aliens now? What are they coming to do? Such a weird reality that you are experiencing. You as God, or something that might be God, because you don't really know. It's such a weird reality that you're experiencing. But I do think the most honest way to view life is to view it as a creation of your subconscious mind, since you've already had experiences where your subconscious mind has created reality. Remember, you have 100% evidence that your subconscious mind can create reality. It's like if someone used a pew-pew, maybe to shoot an animal, and you saw the hole, like that animal was unalive, then you saw the hole. You saw them, like you have evidence that they are the ones who pew-pewed the animal. And then the next day you find another animal with the same hole that you saw. What you gonna think? Like, there's the same kind of hole that I saw in the other animal where a pew-pew was used to, pew-pew it. You're gonna assume that it was a pew-pew that was used. You know what I mean? You already know that your subconscious mind can create what seems to be reality and that you believe is reality. So it makes complete sense to also think that it's your subconscious mind that is also creating this. As hard as it is to believe, that is actually possible. In fact, the chances of that being the truth are like more than 90%. Since you already have real evidence that can happen. And that's the only evidence that you have. You don't have any other evidence. It explains why no one is telling you what this is, because you're God. No one is going to tell you what this is. You would only have to leave clues for yourself to really realize what you really are. Because there would be no one who can actually convince you that you're God. Even if aliens came and they told you, hey man, listen, you are the only conscious being in the universe, you created everything, you wouldn't believe them. How would you even believe them? You'll think you're being manipulated. You'll think they're just demons that are manipulating you. So you'd need to think as rationally as possible to see what truly makes sense. What if you're God and you just forgot? That actually rhymes. What if you're God, you just forgot? What if you're God and you just forgot? Maybe that would be the title. What if you're God and you just forgot So you're stuck in a hell realm. Thank you all, guys.